Welcome to chapter 2. In this chapter, we are going to discuss variables and the comments in Python. And the one most important topic is indentation in Python. Without this, we cannot code or we cannot write the programs in Python. And third one is multi-line statements. And fourth one is about operators. Let's move on to the variables. So variables are reserved memory locations to store values. Based on the data type of a variable, the interpreter allocates memory and decides what can be stored in the reserved memory. Therefore, by assigning different data types to variables, you can store integers, decimals, or characters in these variables. Python variables do not need explicit declaration to reserve memory space. The declaration happens automatically when you assign a value to a variable. The equal sign is used to assign values to variables. The operand to the left of the equals to operator is the same is the name of the variable, and operand to the right of the equals to operator is the value stored in that variable. And this is the example for integer assignment. So here we have written like a equals to 100. So now the value of 100 will be stored into the variable a. My variable name is a and it stores value 100. So here 100 is an integer. So Python knows this automatically, and you don't need to say that, you don't need to declare like a should hold only integer values. And this is floating point. So 10.4, like we have decimals, right? So that means we are going to assign float to the variable b, and this is a string name equals to, and within double quotes we have characters, right? So wings space of space technology. So that means we are loading, when we are assigning entire string into the name variable. Let me show you this by printing here. Here a equals to 100, b equals to 10.4, and name equals to wings of technology. Okay, if I print a, print b, print name, let me print everything under here. Give the spaces also. Okay, so now I've just printed a. Now I'll print other two also, b and c also. Sorry, it's not c, it is name. Variable name is name. See this, it's printed 100, 10.4, and the string wings of technology. And Python allows you to assign a single value to several variables simultaneously, like this. So here what we are doing is we are assigning value of 1, integer 1, to these three variables a, b, c. Let me show you this. A equals to b equals to c equals to 1. See what it will show you. say this. So it's printed all ones. At the same time, you can assign multiple variables to multiple values within the same statement, like this. A comma B comma C equals to 1 comma 2 comma, let's say like Python. See, so in the same single line, I assigned 3 values to the 3 variables. So you don't need to write one line for each variable assignment. Okay. And this is about the variables. Let's move on to comments. So comments are very important while writing a program. It describes what the source code has done. Comments are for programmers for better understanding of a program. In Python, we use the hash symbol to start writing a comment. A hash sign that is not inside a string literal begins a comment. All the characters after the hash and up to the end of the physical line are part of that comment. It extends up to the new line character. And Python interpreter ignores the comment. Of course, that's the whole idea behind the comment, right? So it's not execute that comment part. And we have two types of the comments, single line comment and multi-line comments. And whatever I have shown here, that is a single line comment. So it started with hash and ended with new line character. And here also it started with hash. So here I'm printing like 2 comments here. I'm saying, okay, some information there. Maybe if you're writing a program related to something like calculating the sum of the salaries, maybe you can mention like this, and you might have one function here. So you can give the details related to the function inside the program using this hash. And the multi-line comment, the second one, so it starts with 3 double quotes and ends with 3 double quotes again. And you can see even here I have written for 2 lines, right? In the comment, you can say this is also multi-line, but for each line you have to give hash here, right? Another way of doing is that you use the triple quotes. So you can use single quotes also here or double quotes also here. So for each line you don't need to give any hash here. So now I have given 3 lines as part of this multi-line comment. So I can show you this. Like this, let's say like I'm writing this is a demo program. So this PyCharm IDE directly showing me this as a comment with a different color. So when I write normally, it's showing in white color only, right? But when I give hash, automatically it is ignoring this as a comment. So you can run this directly, but you cannot see that in the output because interpreter ignores this comment. This is for only readability purpose. At the same time, we can do this for multi-line also. Here I'm writing this, okay, program like this. Okay, this is the multi-line comment in Python. So next is indentation. So most of the programming languages like C, C++, Java uses braces to define a block of code. Similarly, Python uses indentation. A code block starts with indentation and ends with the first unindented line. The amount of indentation can be decided by the programmer, but it must be consistent throughout the block. Generally, the best practice is 4 white spaces are used for indentation and it is preferred over tab space. So if you see here, we have space here. Let's assume like we have 4 space here. So that's why block 1 started here, and all these 3 statements are part of block 1 now. And block 1 ends so when you start another line here. So again, similarly, block 2, these 2 are, and this block 3 is part of block 2 now, because indentation started here. This space indented for this block 2. So this is one example. So if you see here, this is just a small if else statement. We have indentation here, 4 spaces. Let me show you that here. If true, print correct, else wrong. Sorry. Over here. Yeah, see here. If that is true, print correct. And I have given 2, 3, 4 spaces here. So this is IDE, right? So by default, it has given 4 spaces when I started writing this if statement, if you had observed, right? So if it is the manual thing, if you're writing code in any Notepad++ or any other editor, so you have to take care of this part. Okay, so you have to give exactly 4 spaces. This is best practice. Okay, and if I say like false, it should print wrong. Okay, of course this is covered if else statement also in line. Okay, move to the next one. So multi-line statements. So instructions that a Python interpreter can execute are called statement. For example, a equals to 1 is an assignment statement, and we have other statements like if, for, while statements or other kind of statements which will be discussed in coming chapters anyway. In Python, end of a statement is marked by a new line character, but we can make a statement extend over multiple lines with the line continuation character, nothing but backslash. Okay, let's say like this is one example: grand total equals to first item plus second item plus third item. So but this first item, second item, third item is given in 3 different lines, but they are combined with backslash. Okay, and statements contained within brackets like square brackets or flower brackets or normal brackets do not need to use the line continuation characters, because these are all part of separate data type lists and dictionaries that we are going to discuss it in coming chapters. And at the same time, we could also put multiple statements in a single line using the semicolon, like this: a equals to 1 semicolon, and this is the next statement started after semicolon, and then b equals to 2 semicolon, c equals to 3. And this is almost similar to that we have in shell scripting, Unix shell scripting, or in any other database programming language. So now we are going to talk about operators. We have different kinds of operators in Python. First, we will start with arithmetic anyway. And operators are the constructs which manipulate the value of operands. Consider the expression like a equals to b plus c. Here, a, b, and c are called operands, and plus and equals to are called operators. There are different types of operators. The following are the types of operators supported by the Python, like arithmetic operators, comparison operator, assignment operator, logic operator, identity operators. We are going to discuss all those operators with the examples now. So first one is arithmetic operator. These are the most used arithmetic operators. This is common across any language. You might know this already. So these are used to perform basic arithmetic operations, and like addition, subtraction. So if you want to perform addition of two integers, so you have to use plus operator, and if you want to subtract, minus operator, and for multiplication, star, division, forward slash, for modulus, percentile, like this. Let me show you this with the example. Let's say like I'm going to create 3 variables and assign values like 10, 5, 2. Okay, I created 3 variables and I assigned the value 10 to A and 5 to B and 2 to C. Okay, now let me do sum to the sum of these 2 variables plus B. Okay, to have comma here. Let's print only this one. Okay, so if you see here, I'm doing the sum of these 2 variables, A plus B. Nothing but 10 plus 5 is 15. Okay, I don't need any space here. By default space comes, so okay, fine. And then let me print the same for others also, like for difference, let's make it A minus B, and then product means A star B, and then for quotient A by B. Let's see what it will return. So the difference is 5. 10 minus 5 equals to 5. The product 10 into 5 is 50, and quotient is 2. 10 by 5, quotient value is 2. Okay, so this is all about arithmetic operations. We move on to the next one. So comparison operators. These operators compare the values on either sides of them and decide the relation among them. These are also called relational operators. Python supports all these kind of operators as shown in the table. So we have double equals to, sorry, so we have double equals to here. If the values of two operands are equal, then the condition becomes true, and this is for not equals to thing. And we have greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to. Okay, I think it's pretty easy to understand. So let me show you the same thing here. Remove the C. Anyway, we're not going to use C here. Let's see, A equals to B is A equals to B. So that's what we're going to check here. Let me comment other statements. So is A equals to B? It's false, right? So 10 not equals to 5. So that's what it is saying. It's false. And so similarly others. So here I'm saying A not equals to B is, obviously it is true because 10 is not equals to 5. Is A greater than B? 10 greater than 5, right? So you get one false and other two are true. Okay, this is about comparison operators in Python. We'll move on to the next one. It is assignment operators. These are the assignment operators that are available in Python. These are the various shorthand operators for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponential, like that. Let me show you with example. Let me delete this. So now we have two variables, 10 and 5. So here, let me take the, so this one we already discussed when we were talking about the variables, how to assign the value to a variable. And let's talk about this operator, plus equals to. It adds the right operand to the left operand and assign the result to the left operand. So example is, let's say like I'm going to use that operator A plus equals to B. Okay, so what happens here? And let me print A. Okay, so see, it's already printed 15. So what it is doing is internally A equals to A plus B. This is what it is doing. Nothing but it will add the left hand value to the right side and assign the value to the left variable. A equals to A plus B. In short, you can say A plus equals to B. Similarly, for subtraction also, you can utilize this operand. A minus equals to B. Now see what it will print. 5. A equals to A minus B. Nothing but A minus B means 10 minus 5. That means it is assigned 5 value to the operand, to the A variable. And at the same time, similarly, you can do the product also. So this is equals to A equals to A star B. Should give 50. Okay. Now it has given 50. Similarly for others also. Okay. The next one is logical operators. So this is the table showing the logical operators that are available in Python language. So we have three logical operators: and, or, and not. So these are the three operators. So this is almost similar to what we know about these logical operations, logical and, logical or logical not. So simply give the example. So let me define two more variables, comma d, 2, comma 1, print a greater than b, and c greater than d. Okay, so a greater than b, is it true? 10 greater than 5? Yes, it's true, right? And c greater than d, that means 2 greater than 2? Yes, that is true. Now true and true, the condition is true and true, that means it should print just true. So now it is printed just true. Now let's take the one more case. Is a greater than b? Yes, true. Or d greater than c? Okay, so a greater than b is true and d greater than c is false, because 1 is not greater than 2. So the final outcome is true or false. So obviously it should print true. So one of them is true, that's why it printed true. Now let's see not operator also, not a greater than b. So a greater than b is true, but I am doing contradictory thing here. I applied not here, that means not of true is false. Okay, this is about logical operators. And then we have identity operators. Identity operators compare the memory location of two objects, and we have two operators, two identity operators in Python, that is and is not. Evaluates to true if the variables on the either side of the operator point to the same object, and false otherwise. Let me show you this simple example again. Let me define three variables: a comma b comma c equals to 10 comma 10 comma 5, and print a is b. Is a equals to b here? 10 and 10? That's true. So it will print true here. And the next is print a is c, and we will write the one more also. Print a is not c here. So I'm going to use the two operators here, two identity operators, is and is not also. So let's see what it will print. Second is false because a is not c, right? So 10 is not 5, that's why it is false. And the third one is, so I said not, that's why here it is false, so automatically it becomes true here because we have used is not operator there. Okay, this is about identity operators. So in this chapter we discussed about the mostly on operators, and the next chapter, in third chapter, we are going to discuss numbers data type and mathematical, trigonometric and random number functions, and then string data type, and the most important ones are string formatting functions we are going to discuss in third chapter. Thank you.